The 5 biggest abuses in history. Throughout history, humanity has witnessed unspeakable horrors, dark moments that echo through time, leaving scars that never fully heal. From the fall of empires to the rise of tyranny, the very soul of humankind has been tested time and again, often in the most brutal ways imaginable. But within these tales of suffering also lie stories of incredible resilience, of the human spirit's refusal to be extinguished, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Today, we journey into the heart of darkness to uncover 5 of the greatest abuses in history, examining the depths of human cruelty and the heights of human endurance. These are not just stories of the past, but stark reminders of the fragility of peace and the ever-present potential for darkness to resurface, threatening the very fabric of our society. We must learn from these tragedies, understand their root causes, and vow to never allow such atrocities to stain the pages of history ever again, ensuring a brighter future for all. Join me as we shine a light on the darkest corners of our past, not to wallow in despair, but to emerge with a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment to safeguarding the future, and a promise to honor the millions who suffered and perished under the weight of these unimaginable abuses, ensuring their sacrifices were not in vain. Slavery, a global wound. Imagine being ripped from your home, your family, your very identity, the sheer terror and helplessness that would engulf you. For centuries, this was the reality for millions ensnared in the brutal system of slavery. Entire generations lived and died under the yoke of oppression. From the shores of Africa to the plantations of the New World, the transatlantic slave trade stands as a chilling testament to human greed and cruelty. It was a vast network of suffering and exploitation. The journey aboard slave ships was a horrific ordeal. Packed like cargo, human beings were subjected to unimaginable horrors. Cramped, unsanitary conditions, disease, and starvation were commonplace. Many did not survive the journey, their bodies cast into the sea. Those who survived the voyage faced a life of forced labor, treated as mere chattel, their humanity denied. They toiled under the harshest conditions with no hope of freedom. Families were torn apart, cultures decimated, and generations robbed of their birthright. The impact of this atrocity is still felt today. The psychological scars of slavery run deep, impacting generations long after its abolition. The trauma has been passed down, affecting the descendants of those who were enslaved. The fight for equality and justice continues to this day, a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of this abhorrent practice. The echoes of the past still resonate in the struggles of the present. But even in the face of such unimaginable suffering, the human spirit endured. Acts of resistance, both large and small, were a testament to the resilience and strength of those enslaved. Stories of resistance, both subtle and overt, weave their way through history. From Harriet Tubman's courageous missions on the Underground Railroad to the countless acts of defiance by enslaved individuals, the flame of hope never truly flickered out. From Harriet Tubman's courageous missions on the Underground Railroad to the countless acts of defiance by enslaved individuals, the flame of hope never truly flickered out. Their bravery and determination continue to inspire. We must remember these stories, not just as tales of suffering, but as testaments to the indomitable human spirit. They remind us of the strength and resilience that can emerge even in the darkest of times. The fight against slavery may have ended, but the battle for true equality continues. The legacy of those who fought for freedom lives on in the ongoing struggle for justice. We must remain vigilant, ensuring that such horrors are never allowed to darken our world again. It is our collective responsibility to learn from the past and build a future where such atrocities are unthinkable. The Holocaust, never forget. The systematic extermination of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany during World War II stands as a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity. It was a time when humanity's darkest impulses were given free rein, leading to unimaginable suffering and loss. Fueled by a toxic ideology of hate and intolerance, the Holocaust was a meticulously planned and executed genocide, designed to eradicate an entire people from the face of the earth. The Nazi regime's propaganda machine dehumanized Jews, paving the way for their systematic annihilation. Families were torn apart, herded into ghettos, and transported in cattle cars to concentration camps. These ghettos were overcrowded and unsanitary, serving as a grim prelude to the horrors that awaited in the camps. The horrors that awaited them are almost beyond comprehension. In the camps, prisoners faced brutal conditions, stripped of their dignity and humanity. Forced labor, starvation, torture, and mass murder became the gruesome reality for millions. The daily struggle for survival was relentless, with death a constant companion. The names of these camps, Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, have become synonymous with unimaginable suffering and loss. Each name evokes the memory of countless lives extinguished. The world watched in horror as the full extent of the atrocities was revealed at the war's end. The liberation of the camps exposed the sheer scale of the Nazis' inhumanity. But even in the darkest depths of the camps, glimmers of hope and humanity flickered. Prisoners found ways to support each other, maintaining a semblance of humanity amidst the brutality. Acts of kindness, shared scraps of food, and whispered words of comfort provided solace in the face of unimaginable cruelty. These small acts of defiance were a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The Holocaust stands as a stark warning to humanity, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and prejudice. It is a call to remember and to ensure that such atrocities never happen again. We must never forget the victims, the survivors, and the lessons learned from this dark chapter in human history. Their stories must be told and retold, so that future generations understand the importance of tolerance and human dignity. Chapter 3. Colonization Cultures Destroyed. For centuries, the relentless march of colonization reshaped the globe, leaving a trail of shattered cultures and subjugated peoples in its wake. Driven by greed, a thirst for power, and a misguided sense of superiority, European powers carved up continents, claiming ownership of lands and resources that were not theirs to take. Indigenous populations were decimated by disease, displaced from their ancestral lands, and forced to assimilate into foreign cultures. Their traditions, languages, and very identities were systematically suppressed and erased. The economic impact of colonization continues to reverberate today, with many former colonies struggling to break free from the shackles of exploitation and inequality. The legacy of this brutal system is etched into the global landscape, a stark reminder of the enduring consequences of greed and oppression. Chapter 4. Child Labor, the Cost of Industrialization. The Industrial Revolution, a period of unprecedented technological advancement, came at a steep human cost. Children, some as young as 5 years old, were forced to work long hours in dangerous conditions, their tiny bodies sacrificed at the altar of progress. In mines and factories across the industrialized world, children toiled alongside adults, operating heavy machinery, inhaling toxic fumes, and enduring physical abuse. Their childhoods were stolen, their education denied, and their health irreparably damaged. The plight of these children sparked outrage and reform movements, leading to the enactment of child labor laws and the recognition of children's rights. However, the exploitation of children continues in many parts of the world today, a stark reminder that the fight for social justice is far from over. Chapter 5. Human Trafficking, the Modern Slavery. In the shadows of the 21st century, a modern form of slavery thrives: human trafficking. Millions of men, women, and children are trafficked each year, forced into labor, sex work, and other forms of exploitation. Driven by poverty, conflict, and lack of opportunity, victims are lured by false promises of a better life, only to find themselves trapped in a web of abuse and control. Their passports are confiscated, their movements restricted, and their lives controlled by their traffickers. Human trafficking is a global epidemic, operating across borders and impacting every corner of the world. It is a crime that preys on the vulnerable, exploiting their desperation for profit. As we've journeyed through these dark chapters of human history, it's easy to despair, but amidst the suffering, there's a glimmer of hope. Humanity has shown an incredible capacity for resilience, for rebuilding, for learning from its mistakes. These abuses, as horrific as they were, serve as stark reminders of what we must never allow to happen again. They highlight the importance of empathy, of understanding, of fighting for justice and equality for all. Let these stories stay with you not as burdens but as fuel for a brighter future. A future where every human life is valued, where every voice is heard, and where the mistakes of the past are never repeated.